Hello.
Hey,
This is
guys.
on, right? Yes.
How's it going?
To turn on my mic. How's it going, guys? Welcome to Art Stream.
Yes.
At Rhymes with Play. Today I'm gonna go over some of the concept art.
Okay.
That. Oh wait, I should probably introduce.
Yes.
You know what? You talk for a little bit.
Okay, I'm Ragnar. I'm an artist on Oxygen Not Included.
And I'm Toni. I'm on DST. You were also on Don't Starve for a bit, right?
For a little bit,
So-
up till the start of the Forge.
Yeah, you're qualified though. That's fine.
If you guys are wondering what I'm doing here today, I'm wondering the same thing.
Anyway, so
It's
Don't worry.
crazy that this is the first time we've streamed together, and now we're not on the same team.
I know. It's just
waiting
not
for
fair. It's not fair. But don't worry, you remember everything well enough. What's the main character's name?
Tony. No, Wilson.
If you had said Woney, I would have given you points for that.
Dang.
Anyways, okay, but no, we're gonna go over some concept art for Gorge,
Gorge.
which ended a few weeks ago, and
I have
it
some
was
questions.
Really fun. Did you prepare questions?
No, I'm just winging it.
Okay, and then after that, I'll do an illustration, and you guys can draw along. All right. So let's get to it. There we go.
Oof.
So this was actually the first bit of concept art that I did for the big question mark new event, because at the time we weren't totally sure what the gameplay was going to be.
Yeah.
But I knew that I kind of wanted it to be like, Forge was like really like red and fiery and like lava. Everything was just like
very
hot.
gladiator-y.
Yes, yeah, like lots of warm colors. So I was just like, I want to do something that's like cool colors, blues, purples, like very more muted, and also just sort of like a, that sort of like mysterious feel,
Like-
yeah.
I don't know what I was gonna say, but yes, I get the mysterious feel. It's the foggy type.
Yeah, and it's like, and because the sort of like Victorian era stuff fits so well with the existing like Don't Starve art style, it's like, well, heck, let's just do it.
When you say Victorian, what inspirations were you looking at for?
just because like
Sherlocky? No.
a bit of Sherlock, just like I think I Googled,
Actually, that is very Sherlock.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I Googled a lot of sort of like Victoria era fashions and trends. Especially interesting because the Victorian era, when Queen Victoria was in mourning for her husband, it became like very in vogue to be in mourning and being black.
Oh, so
and
everything was dark. And,
yeah, and like around that time as well, like I think photography was starting to. But then you'd have all this like cool like spooky Victorian like ghosts captured on photographs, and it sort of like all fit in very well. It gelled with the whole like kind of old timey, but like a little bit spooky and a little bit like fascinated with the occult, and then like all sorts of.
I really like that street light. Actually.
Oh,
That's
thank
really
you, thank
cool.
you. That was like one of the earliest things, because like when I think Victorian England, I think cobblestone and like street lamps.
But that's a very
at night.
informed piece of like design, right? Like you can base a whole lot of things on just that.
And like in the shape of it's very like Don't Starvian.
Like
kind
the title card thing.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of the UI, and of course like we needed a portal as well. So I was just like, hey, the last one was fire. Why don't we like something that kind of felt like a fountain, which is why this one is water based.
And I remember these designs because they were there for.
Yeah.
for a while.
If we have time, I'll even go over some of the skin designs, because like I got stuff I could.
I always
say
like
about
that
them.
stuff. It's like the stuff that people don't see, but are like, they're always there. And then, those things are fun. It's
Yeah.
always nice to pick the brains of the people who designed it. And like,
I'm actually still very fond of those statues, because they're just, I don't know, they're cool.
They're cool. It looks
I
cool.
know.
It's like if you see them somewhere, you're like, what's the story behind it?
I know.
It's so much lore like that feels like it's there, but
Yeah, I think this was back when like I was like, oh, what if it could have like PvP, sort of like if this was a more, you cook against teams, right? So it's sort of like your whole Iron Chef style. Oh, I love Iron Chef.
Ooh, Dead Right has a cool question.
Oh, yes.
Do the symbols on the portal mean anything?
Spotlight. let's just say, as of this, no, because I haven't figured anything out yet. I just thought they looked cool on this because
it does look cool.
It does look cool.
It's very cool.
But I was definitely borrowing shapes from, like, you know, stuff that was like nothing one for one. Because, you know, I feel like people would just, like, find that out immediately.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Jambill in this design.
How is that
like the lower left, it's like,
Okay, that was a reference I didn't understand. Anyways, but, like, this was just the very first thing to sort of get the mood, the atmosphere of what I wanted. The colors are more saturated in this than they ended up being. But,
how do you deal with the color stuff? Because I know it looks different when you're concepting it and then you put it in the game and then there's the color cube.
Yeah, the color
cube. Right?
Well, I mean, you know what, let's just keep going and I'll touch on that later.
Okay.
Yeah. So then the next one, I actually, because I didn't want to like stick to my, you know, the first thing I came up with, I did also try an upright portal because the atrium has an upright portal.
Yeah,
so I was like, oh, well, we don't want to do the exact same thing as the last one, right? But
that was cool though, too.
yeah, so I actually, this version, I played around with the idea of, like, because there's this, like, the Gnaw, which, you know, is the giant mouth god in the sky.
That was cool.
Yeah, but it's like, it's definitely, like, corrupted this world, right? So I wanted to work in some potential lore about what if the inhabitants, before they slowly start to, like, transform and lose themselves, tried to brick up the portal so that, you know, nothing else could come through. But then in the end, it didn't really work out lore-wise, and I didn't super work out in terms of just how all the different structures would be arranged in that sort of like starting area. So I ended up scrapping this idea.
But it's kind of cool because you have the thing in the sky that's kind of flat, and then you have the thing in the ground that's kind of flat, and they're just kind of both opposing. You know?
Yeah, I really enjoy how it turned out. But this is also the first time those pink trees were designed.
I like them. They look really good in the game.
Thank you. I think originally they were just a build swap of the birch nuts, but then we ended up changing it enough that it kind of became its own thing. Yeah. And,
it was kind of in that fenced off area.
Yeah, the park.
Yeah,
the park.
Yeah.
And I also brought in a merm for just to, you know,
balance things out.
Just because, like, hey, you know what, Victorian, and then you easy jump from that to, like, you know, cosmic horror, Lovecraftian stuff. So hey, fishmen. We already have fishmen.
Yeah,
this is great. And so,
where did the goat idea come from?
Well, we'll see here.
Are we getting, okay,
we're getting to it.
I have so many questions.
I know.
Oh yeah.
So this you can see the early design, like the extremely early designs for the altar, which you know, because we needed something that would deliver the offerings, and I wanted it to be located next to the portal. I knew that much because if you notice, like, for people who have finished Gorge, you'll know that the key goes into the little hole that's hidden underneath all the ivy. So in my mind, it was borrowing from the energy or magic that the portal runs on, and then using that to teleport it into the sky.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be part of that whole thing, and it became like maybe a thing of worship for the Gorgians.
Yeah. I'm just looking at these statues, and they look like gargoyles / goats.
Yeah, they are.
No, we're not. Okay, sorry. Disregard.
Anyways,
but it looks cool. It looks really cool.
Oof. This is gonna be a long stream. Anyways, so clearly you can see in the top left corner there, we had not yet decided on the goat thing.
On the look, it's very Venus-y.
Yes. And there's like a cornucopia there to sort of like symbolize, you know, like, oh, may we always have enough food to satisfy the Gnaw. But I didn't even know if it was actually going to be in the sky when we first started out. So there's that sort of like bulb-shaped one was an idea where it's like, oh, what if it was on the ground, like around like the portal? You would put the food where the center of the portal would be on the ground, and then the map, like, and there would just be like mouths opening up on the world, and like the world itself would be just like, you know, full of nom holes.
Yeah.
The nom noms.
So that was the original idea for them all?
I wouldn't say, it was just one that I was sort of toying with. And you can see the one next to the bulb is sort of like a weird pulley system where you just lower it into, like, it looks...
Hey, it fits. It fits.
It's not really all that magical.
Yeah.
But
I guess pulleys aren't that magical.
No.
If you're being,
But it was much more wormhole-like, you know? So there's literally just a mouth in the ground, which is already very familiar to, you know, players of Don't Starve.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it felt like a little too mundane, though, because you wanted this to be like, blah,
epic.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. So you need that dynamic contrast.
And so decided that, like, you know, sending things into the sky is much more, like, dramatic, and it's sort of like...
intense.
Yeah. And you could have a cool effect play, plus teleporting also already in Don't Starve. So there's, like, that weird rectangle one was sort of like a... the kind of, like, big altar that you could maybe find in, I don't know, church or something?
Church or like
some
Aztec
sacrificial,
stuff.
like, sacrificial thing.
Yeah.
But then I was just like, I was playing around with, like, oh, but maybe the shape of the altar itself should reflect the sort of, like, you know, the mouth, you know, the insatiable nature. So I had a couple, those three designs here
things.
are very teethy.
Yeah. So for those of you guys watching, if you're doing concept art, this is what a concept artist thinks about.
Yeah.
Little things that you might not notice.
Yeah. Trying to, you know, weave the theme of this whole thing into, like, every little aspect.
How long were you concepting stuff?
You know, I've lost track of that. But yeah, I also definitely wanted to use at least 3 purple gems in the sort of like the triangle shape, because also would be familiar to Don't Starve players is the sort of like you can use them when you make that like purple teleporting staff, and then you can use the make a focus.
So you just teleport there?
Yeah, so you teleport in that specific location. So I was like,
it's like a waypoint, I guess.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, they're using the same gemstone-colored magic to do the teleporting. Yeah, and it helps that triangles look like teeth as well.
Yeah.
So I ended up going with, I guess, it's like the version in the middle between the Venus de Milo statues. It's just a little taller, because yeah, it looked looked like a like somewhere you would set your dinner, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh well, that's appropriate, and it would have the gems, and it would be part of like the actual thing that you put the key in that's been there for a long time. So I ended up going with something actually much simpler.
Yeah, but it's nice. It looks very appropriate for what you know. It's like you got a small thing that like looks like it's very important, and you know that's like you look at it and like, oh, okay, that's where the things are supposed to go.
I think it's one of those things also where it's like, it's simple, but the fact that it's surrounded by so many other structures that gives it that feeling of like, oh, this is something important. Whereas if it was on its own, it might not have that impact. But clearly we also went through a few revisions with the statues, because once it was like, it's kind of like, not only is it kind of weird to have normal proportioned humans, you know, that's like really out of place. I was just like, yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, like,
they still look cool for placeholder, you know, like. But that goat statue is like really cool.
The ones in the lower left corner, I think Corey did, and I was just like, okay, like we need to change these into goat statues. So why don't you come up with something? But then we decided they also looked too nice, you know, like
too nice in what sense?
Like we wanted the whole Victorian mood to be that sort of like kind of mysterious, dark. Sort of, and then like when you actually look at the build of the goat, it is quite round and cute, right? But then because this is their art, like, so we should like stylize it, and like this, it kind of looks almost. Also because I think it's a lighter colored rock, it kind of reminded me of like more Greek.
Yeah.
You
Also,
know?
it's a little bit more cheery than you guys.
Yeah. It was just so I was like, okay, so I need to draw inspiration from gargoyles instead, because that sort of encapsulates that sort of just like looming, dreary sort of like.
But the color palette for this, the goat statue and stuff, it's nice because there's a bit of green on top, so it kind of feels like some mosses start to grow in.
Yeah, and then that's kind of like the oxidization process of old statues. I looked at a lot of statues of Queen Elizabeth.
I couldn't tell.
You also notice that on the end of the scepter is something that looks remarkably similar to the key. So maybe that's a thing. So
Tell us more.
Yeah, no, that's about it. You notice the two gargoyle ones, the sketches, they're the same height.
Yeah.
But then I realized that it kind of makes like putting the tallest statue in the back, and then the medium-sized statues, and then the small-sized statues. Like it really sort of like gives it
that perspective.
Perspective. That sense of elevation. You know, it just. Yeah.
It's a nice thing for variety too. Different sizes and stuff.
Yeah, that's good. So next, and here are, you know what, they used to be
adorable.
deer. They used to be deer.
What were they called? What were the deer ones called?
What? Well, we didn't come up with a name for it yet. But I was just, I picked the pink version that I had saved, but it was weird. You use the hue slider, and they looked good in every color.
That one with I'm a sucker for polka dots. So I
know,
love that.
right?
Yeah,
like
it's
the
so
whole
good.
font.
It's such a good pattern.
So cute, but
I'm sad. One day.
But then because I overthink like too much of this, I was just like, but then if this is like a world that's sort of like infested by the sort of like cosmic fishiness, fishy hunger, wouldn't it be cool if it was like they're half goat, half fish? Because that's sort of like, Capricorn, right? And interestingly enough, Capricorn is based on the mythological goat that baby Zeus was that like gave milk to raise baby Zeus, and like the goat horn was used to actually create the cornucopia as we know it. So I was just like, that fits so many of the themes.
Which is a symbol for
plentiful food, bountiful harvest, all that stuff. So I was just like, that fits so many of the themes, and it's me patting myself on the back for like being a mythology buff.
There's so many things in there that you don't even realize until you talk about it. It's like, everything's connected.
Yeah. Also, then I realized it was weird that they're naked. So that's like, wait, these are civilized people. We should
these guys are. This is good. Yeah, but I like the way the green goat on the very top center there looks like, because it's like, it kind of looks like it starts out as fur at the top, but turns kind of scaly at the bottom.
Perhaps that was intentional.
Yeah, I like it.
Perhaps she's wearing a mermaid dress
for
a reason.
I see what you're doing.
I think someone on the forums did pick up on that.
It looks good.
Very proud of myself, and I was just like, yes, handshake myself. Good job. Pat myself
high
back.
five.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see. Oh, wait. Yes.
Okay.
That was you. That's how I imagine Toni designing it.
Please stop.
Yes.
No. Anyways, and she's in mourning because obviously, why not? Everyone you know has been turned into fish. So
she's lonely.
She's got her son, but it's not the
same.
same.
These guys are cool.
The pig elder. Before there was actually like variations on I guess you had the sort of like warrior-looking villager. You had the more civilian-looking villager. We ended up going with like a balance between the two. I think mostly just for AI, like their AI purposes. But originally the elder was like so cool. I always wanted him to have one eye because that's just cool. But then I realized he looked just too cool.
Was this off a cable kickoff?
No, this was way before.
Okay, all right. I'm just asking because
if anything, this is more like Old Man Wolverine. You know, you see the face shape there.
Thor Ragnarok.
You know what? You don't want to get me started on comic books. You don't want to tread this road with me.
On the next episode.
Oh, no. But, I was like, he's this old, gnarly warrior who's like the head of the village. But then it kind of he looked so cool that I was like, why couldn't he just like go do stuff himself? Why is he just sitting in his village all day, in his decrepit, dying village, when he's like so like strong looking? So I was like, okay, you know what? For the sake of making it just make more sense for like the state of things, then he has to look a lot more like just worn down. It's like he was probably a warrior in his prime, but now especially
he's aged,
infected with these scales.
But that's cool. I like
that people.
I like when you look at a character and you feel there's a story in there before they even say anything. Like if you look at his like right hand, it's kind of getting scaly.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit. And
I'm
it's like
so happy that people noticed that. And then
also there's a cool fish staff.
Because that was part of his warrior thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, he's like the last stand against all these fish people. He's not going to let his people turn to fish. So he had like, as a sort of
symbol.
Like, symbol of defiance against
a reminder.
The oncoming fissioning would be this fish.
The fissioning?
But it's just like, no, that doesn't fit now that he's just like an old, decrepit old man.
On this Thursday's episode of Bad Puns.
Anyway, and also their houses, you see, used to be wood.
Oh, see, it's caught on. The fissioning.
Oh, the fissioning.
Thanks, not Blakey.
Yeah.
/ Steph. Hi.
So it used to be wood houses because, like, if they live in the swamp, then it makes sense they would have elevated wood houses. But then I realized that, like, well, no, they wouldn't know that their entire world was going to get turned into, fishland.
Yeah.
So it turned down into run-down stone houses instead, because stone houses are much more Victorian-looking. A lot of this, like the revisions, were all based around, like, yes, but how can we make it even more Victorian? Anyways.
What was the answer?
It turned out to be put in more cobblestones and more stone things and make things more depressing. Yeah. So, oh man, there's so many concepts of just like cooking, how cooking was gonna work.
I remember seeing a lot of these early ones when you guys were coming up with stuff. And
You notice it used to be like, I just figured it'd be like normal Don't Starve, where you just have one thing that would do all of your cooking, like the crock pot does. So that's what the little upper left oven thingy was. But then once we decide to we split up different methods of cooking to make the cooking part much more like actual cooking. And I was like, oh wait, now I have to make different, the pots were straightforward. That was the most straightforward one. You'll notice also I had like a little ice freezer there. That's like
really
a cooler.
Cool. Yeah,
that's a cooler that's cool with like blue gems.
No, but it looks cool. It's like magical stuff, right? You look at it and you're like, that's a magic box.
Yeah, but it still
reads very well.
Too like bit too out of time. Like that's too modern looking. The shape.
You think so? Because it kind of just looks like a special chest.
Yeah.
Right, like
we
a food
just
chest.
using fridge instead, and then a bread box. You see, like many.
It looks too modern, and then we just ended up using a fridge.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man. What's the term? Anachronistic? Yeah. So, and you see the bread box. I was clearly spending.
Is that a black cat?
That's my cat, Kuma, because we had to get a bread box because she just kept taking bites out of our bread.
Nice. Good job, Kuma.
I was just like, different types of bread. How would the bread box open? Would it slide open? Would it like pop open? And then we just didn't do a bread box. Because, I think in my head it was just this gag item that would only have one slot and could only fit bread. And I was just like, what kind of useless item is this going to be? It's like, there's no point to this. It's just funny, but like,
So it's consensus when you guys are coming up with all these things. Like, how do you know what to veto?
But most of this is me throwing stuff at throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks. Or sometimes, you make one thing and it's like, oh yeah, we could run with this, and you expand on it, but you're just gonna keep throwing poop at a wall. Yeah, that is an ice cream machine. You'll also notice the blue jam. Yeah. You're catching on. I really wanted. I was just like,
I'll observe it. Don't worry about it.
Because those freaking cooking shows where it's just like, yeah, we'll just put this random. We'll just put garlic in the ice cream machine, and you're just like, what? Anyways,
what was? Oh, water purifier.
Yeah, okay. Water. And I thought about having water as an ingredient for soup because, you put water into soup, so it's like, oh, would you have to get, ice and then melt it down to purify it and stuff? But that just ended up being it's just simpler.
But I like seeing that drawing because it's very Victorian-y.
Yes,
but then you look at it and it's like that seems like a sound. It seems like it could work.
Yeah,
because it's
Yeah, it looks like something Wilson would have like
Yeah.
had in his lab or something.
Yeah.
The oven though, the oven pretty much like I think the only thing different about the oven from this tiny little sketch is that we ended up adding more like of a metal
surround.
arch thing.
Oh,
around
okay.
the thing, right?
But this is pretty much how it.
Yeah, more or less. So
It looks like a nice like a brick pizza oven.
yeah, that's what I was going for. And then we like a grill thing because we had all been playing way too much Monster Hunter at the time.
Yes, we were.
We were playing so much Monster Hunter World. So it was just like I really wanted to like a big like flat, you know, stone grill.
Yeah.
And then you can see a few variations on the grill part. But then it looked too rustic.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like that would have worked in a version of this game where you did build all of like you build it from scratch. You have to get the materials like in normal Don't Starve.
That's interesting you say that because like we were all playing Monster Hunter World around the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
And then,
This
so when-
entire studio was
Yeah.
just Monster Hunter.
So when I designed one of the creatures on Oni, I was also basing it on Bagel Goose,
Oh my god. You noticed that the pot hanger originally was also made of sticks,
Yeah.
right?
which is probably a bad idea
it's very
because
bad.
fire.
Well, I mean,
They saw it
when
coming.
you're camping,
Yeah.
what can you do, right? But
got
then I
this.
was like, oh wait, they're not camping; they are here, and so which is why we ended up going with this sort of like more metal-looking one that looks like fire pokers.
Yeah.
I kind of dig it.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, thank you. And the grill makes no sense anymore because who has a grill that fancy looking? Especially the upgraded one. It's like I think
Yeah, it's
meat
like
would just
marble?
slide
What is
through. I did put a marble texture on it,
These
but it was just
classy
like
folks living
just
in that
make
cursed
things,
city.
make things classier. Make it classier.
They're just showering golden marbles.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, this is Vito's concept art for the UI. It actually turned out
Yeah,
remarkably similar
very close
to what the UI actually looks like.
All the elements are there.
It's all there.
Yeah, it's all there because
There's
like
the
you see
effects and yeah. So yeah, this is what we went off of. My version of this, you'll notice, is much better because it looks like this. Somehow even worse. It's just a bunch of scribbles because I was like, okay, now that we've made a giant mouth in the sky, we have to also make it so that the UI implies the giant
Everything.
monster in the sky.
But it's
right?
very smart, right? Because it's like you're
Yeah.
looking at it, you know what's up there.
Yeah, but you
know the
can't actually
timing.
see the sky when you're
Yeah,
playing,
yeah.
so it's like you have to know it's always there.
This is, guys, we're in the business of making some things out of nothings.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, I think I was just like, we were in the meeting room and they're just like, yeah, but how are we gonna, I was just like, give me a pen, I've got something. I just like scribbled this and everyone looked at it and was like, what is this?
Was this one of those ideas where you had to fight really hard to kind of
No,
rein it in?
no,
or did
no,
it get
no, no.
like out of hand and you had to like kind of...
This was basically like people going like, I don't know. And I was just like, no, I know what I want.
Okay.
And then I'll just do it. I'll do it.
Nice.
And then you can see the front end screen.
Yeah.
It was going to be like one of these two ideas where it's either someone stirring a pot or a bunch of merms.
Yeah.
But then I liked the whole like, you know,
It was a nice perspective.
steam rising up.
And it was
into the
cool
maw.
because there was like the maw in the background.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys can't tell, it is the top left one, I think.
the big scribble.
That doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but...
yeah.
Did you always have Wilson in mind for the...
Oh, yeah, he's the main character. He has to kind of,
No love for Wes?
I know, right? And here's just some of the food. The food was extremely fun to draw.
You guys were drawing a bunch of these. I remember because like I kept walking by Lyra's desk and I was like, what is that? Is that like... I was hungry.
So many food. Dude, I was hungry. I had to like Google image search food all day
All the
long
time.
for like a week. But it's like, the way you do food in Don't Starve is that it has to be like a little bit weird as well.
Hamstar has a question. Are
Oh,
all
yes.
merms used to be non-merms?
That's a good question, Hamstar. Anyways,
I like how you just skirted that.
I'm not going to answer that right now.
Here on
This
our
is just
non-answer
concept art.
Q&A.
No. This is just concept art.
Okay,
This
okay,
is not a
okay.
lore stream. It's concept
all
art.
right.
Just insofar
Putting
as
Toni on the spot here.
insofar as some lore is worked out
Mm-hmm.
and sort of like communicated through concept
Yeah.
art.
Is that a fish pie?
Yeah. Oh man, that one's one of my favorites. That is actually a real dish called stargazy pie. Because
where?
where else? England.
Okay.
But like it's called stargazy pie because all the fish heads look like they're like looking up, stargazing, and it's just like really kind of creepy looking. And
hoping they're going to heaven.
yeah. And the carrot stuff, I was just like, I could draw a normal carrot cake, or I could make it look like they just stuck a bunch of carrots in. You know,
that one's cool too. The soup, because
yeah,
it just
the
looks
soup makes
like
no sense.
yeah.
I love it,
but it looks like something's planted in it.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Because it's like so many soups are just blended. You throw it in a blender and it's just like a creamy color, right?
Is that beef Wellington?
This is there is beef Wellington in the game, but this one is called a shooter sandwich, which I looked up and is a legitimately Victorian dish.
I might have to eat one of those. That looks delicious.
Yeah, it's basically just if you made a beef Wellington, except instead of wrapping it in pastry, you took a giant like loaf of bread, cut it in half, and like emptied out the inside of the bread and put the beef in there with all the stuff and flattened it.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm there.
We needed a high-end grill dish.
I was sold on beef in empty bread.
Yeah, beef in bread, done. And just stuff like, bacon wrapped meat, just make it look like a little gift wrap. Crab cake, make it shaped still like a crab. Spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah. Instead of meatballs, it's just a giant meatball.
Yeah. What's that beside the spaghetti meatballs?
That's stone soup. You don't know? Do you know stone soup?
No.
Okay, I came up with stone soup because I was like, oh man, you should be able to, like, if you have literally no ingredients, you can throw anything in the pot with a rock and it will become stone soup. Because of that story that apparently no one else has heard of.
Is it the one where they use the rock for salt or something?
No. It's like this guy going around with a giant cauldron of water, and like he's saying like, I've got this magic rock that can magically make any dish taste amazing. And then he goes around to an entire village, and the village is all like, hungry and poor and starving. And he's just like, hey, I promise, if you just contribute just a tiny bit of like a little garnish, a little whatever, pocket full of salt you've got, or like some meat trimmings or whatever, just a tiny thing, and you will get in on this delicious magic soup made from the stone. And then they're like, the whole village is like, that's weird, but okay, you can have some of my like random little bits of food. But then because the entire village chipped in, he ended up having like this
something delicious.
Yeah, it was like full of stuff. And then because like he said it was a stone, but it was because everyone worked together and contributed something small, and it made something beautiful. Of course, Vito's takeaway was that you can trick people into making things good. So
Classic Vito.
We have very different outlooks on life.
Yeah.
It's clear. But anyway, that's the story of stone soup for you all.
Is that pineapple in that burger?
Oh, that's portobello mushroom.
Oh, portobello mushroom.
Yeah, those burgers are just at the bottom to show that like all these like mushroom burger, cheeseburger, hamburger, fish burger, they're all really similar looking.
Yeah.
So I had to find a way to still make them look different.
Yeah.
So
I just got
slightly
excited.
Different bread and I know.
I got excited because I'm a big pineapple on pizza. And burger.
We're very pro pineapple on savory dishes here, and if you are not, then
you're not.
Yeah. Also, radish cake. That's totally dim sum.
Yes, very.
It's the wrong kind of radish, but like we needed a radish dish. Also, you put jam on your scone and then you put the clotted cream. That's how it goes. If you eat it any other way, you're a monster. And yeah, I think that might be. I think we should probably get to the illustration now.
Sure. Well, you're.
I mean, I think there's still the skins. We could go over the skins really, really quick.
Sure. We'll blast through it. I'll try not to ask any questions.
All right. So there's Wilson. Is a doctor somehow is exactly what I wrote on the
I love these little notes.
Yeah, I just make that. Willow is a little matchstick girl. When I heard the little matchstick girl story as a kid, I cried for like about a week straight. So.
Oh no.
Yeah. Gentleman pugilist.
Gentleman pugilist.
Yeah, like those, those
Paradox.
like old timey boxing dudes. Like, I was just like, that's great. Wendy was super easy, but her red scarf is a nod to that whole like creepy story about like the lady who always wore that red scarf.
Yeah.
And then like her fiance was just like, take off the red scarf, and she's like, no, and then he takes it, and then her head falls off. Yeah. It's just a reference. Her head's not gonna fall off. It's okay. She's fine. But yeah, grieving was her skin back then. WX.
That's a cool suit.
That I'm very fond of that.
Yeah.
Everyone calls it the Bioshock
Yeah.
because it is very. But I mean, diving suits were real.
Yeah.
Those were a thing.
They
You just fill it up with robots.
I like that his mouth was a meter though. It's kind of.
Oh man,
cool.
I made sure to do that build personally because I wanted the little dial, like the little meter thing to like when he has a yelling face, it goes into the red and stuff like that. Anyways,
because you guys were saying like you got that working.
I'll see. I'm not saying she's a widow, but I wanted the look of like kind of like a spooky old lady with the.
It's very classy.
Yeah. Woody made his fortune in the fur trade was exactly what I wrote.
It's like, what's going on with his hair?
I think it's more of an Elizabethan thing, but I still think it's like, oh, well, he went overseas and his fur trading outdoorsy ways made him a lot of money.
He looks very Canadian.
He is very Canadian. Wes, chimney sweep.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm a little sad we weren't able to do the little dust effect around him, but then it was just like, it would make his like too good compared to the rest.
It's sort of, what's that guy from Peanuts?
Oh, yeah. Pigpen.
Yeah.
I know. I would have.
That's so cool.
I would have loved that, but these all had to kind of be equally good, right? Maxwell was like fancy pants.
Yeah, he is always fancy pants. Look at that suit.
Wigfrid is actually a reference to one of the prints done by Munka. He does a lot of those like Art Nouveau sort of like.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. But it's like of what's that actress, Sarah something, but she's dressed as like Hamlet, so that's the like sort of like Hamlet inspired outfit.
He's my favorite, I think.
Wes, that one I'm actually gonna give credit to Steph, my roommate, because I was just like, I think I was working from home or I came home and I was just like, oh, I can't think of something for Weber. Because Weber is actually quite difficult because you never know if you want to give him a skin that is like a different kind of spider or he's a spider wearing clothes, you know?
It's kind of like that Hello Kitty thing.
No, Hello Kitty is not a kitty.
No, she's a girl. Blew my mind.
Yeah. So he's got healthy, glowing cheeks, and he's missing a tooth, and he's just such a precious child. Yeah. And Winona, of course, is a blacksmith.
Yeah. She looks badass.
Yeah.
As always.
Yeah. I like that scarf. Okay, all right, wrap that up.
Boom. That was fast.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was pretty fast. We did good. We did good.
We went over.
It's okay.
Okay, so, illustration
time for Fast Hands Tony.
Oh no, don't call me that. Okay. Since there's a sequel to the last art stream I did,
over here,
where they were pretty much dying in the heat, and it's still quite warm here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking another summer drawing. Yeah. Or they're having a barbecue. Yeah.
It's a good time. It's summer.
It is a good time. So, yeah, which characters, though? Just name me some characters, and I will draw.
WX. Let's go with...
Or you can ask chat. Ask chat to...
All right, chat. Give me 2 other characters aside from WX, and Tony will make the magic happen.
Wilson this time.
Let's see. No suggestions. Come on, chat.
Chat is a bit like...
Winona. 2 Winonas.
All right. Winona can be at the grill.
Okay, so we got Winona and Weber and WX, I guess.
I think I drew Weber last time, didn't I?
You did Weber last time? Okay.
Well, I mean, everyone loves Weber.
You want to do...
That could be okay.
Okay, so either... You do Wendy?
I think I also... Did I do... I know Wickerbottom was... You know what? Who cares? I'll just do them again.
Okay.
If that's what the people wants, that's what the people
wants
shall receive.
What the people wants.
Yeah. Anyways, in the meantime, why don't you do a little dance for the people?
I don't dance very well.
Oh.
And there's not much room here. Also, we just had lunch, so the belly is very full. Man, you do these things so fast.
Well, we did go over. Oh, wait. We were supposed to... You know what?
Did we miss something?
Yeah, we forgot to look at the stuff.
What stuff?
You know, Don't worry, we'll do it after.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, we got this.
Okay.
We got a little surprise after this. Maybe
Yeah.
not a surprise, but just because we forgot to do it.
Well, now you just sound ominous.
What? Why? So, who's your favorite one to draw, Tony?
Wendy.
What? Hands down?
You know what? Maxwell's also very fun because his face shape is really good. And who else?
You know, when I was on DS,
Wigfrid is nice
Wigfrid?
because her acting is always very like boisterous.
I always found it very hard to draw Willow. Because her hair, I feel like it's so hard to get her hair right. The bangs.
Yeah, the bangs. Like I think everyone draws them slightly differently too, which is hilarious. But you know, we've all got our unique spin on things. Let's see.
Yes, like what Jan said, it's not a surprise. It's just we were gonna show some DS fan art, I guess.
Yeah, from the last art stream, we were like, "Hey, draw
was the
along with us." Well, it was just like draw along with us, draw them dying in the summer heat. So, so I mean, hey,
Everyone can relate, I guess, at this point.
it's true. It's true. The whole world.
Yeah, it's been. I don't want to say ridiculously warm here in Vancouver because there's other places
It's
that's
been
been really
ridiculously warm for Vancouver.
Yeah,
let's
it's
put it
not
like that.
normal for us to be in the high temps. Cliff W01, I am currently holding Tony's beer as she's drawing this.
Here.
Yeah, there we go. I'm holding her cup of
Water. That's water.
Yeah. Very important to stay hydrated.
That's true.
guys.
That's true.
Keep cool and
Oh man,
drink a lot of water.
Remember how hot the stream even used to be in the old place?
Yeah, well, even here last time, because we're, like, I mean,
Okay,
well, today's
spatulas,
good.
spatulas don't exist, but I don't care. She invented it. She can do that.
So fast.
Actually, you know who would be appropriate? One of the meat eaters, like
Wigfrid.
yeah, Wigfrid. Wolfgang's a big eater too. He'd fit, but
I tried playing him once because I was like, I think I'm up for the challenge now. I think I can do good. I couldn't. I went running back to Wilson. Sorry, Woody fans.
Woody, Wolfgang. Which one?
Woody.
Oh, Woody. Oh, I
because
see.
there's 4 meters. It's so hard to manage.
Yeah.
I'm not pro. I thought I was good at games. I guess I'm not very good at games.
Don't worry. Apparently, no one here is,
Oy.
or at least not our own games.
Vito's crying in his desk right now.
Oh. Okay, let's see. I should let this go.
Not Blakey. Do you have any plans on releasing an art book?
I think no one just wants to go through all the old files.
Yeah, there's a lot
Half
of
of them are just like in a big pile on Jeff's desktop.
I mean, straight up, when I started on DS, they were like, "Hey, yeah, just look through these folders. There's a lot of art in there." And I swear to God, it took me like almost 2 days to go through.
Yeah.
Like there was so much cool stuff in there too. But yeah, it's a big like.
Also,
You get lost in there for days.
I don't know who drew that picture of the meeting pizza, because it wasn't me. And
Which
I don't know.
one?
It was on Twitter or something.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No idea. Maybe Jan would know.
yeah. Jan, any ideas?
Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna draw people in line for.
Is she serving steaks? Is
Yeah.
that
Yes.
nice?
Yes. She's staking out.
Staking it up.
Oh, you're rubbing off on
Oh.
me.
No, it's happened.
No.
This is where I exit because Tony can take the stream on her own now.
No.
Burp. Some eating going on. I remember we were playing with Vito and he was using Wigfrid and she killed so many things so fast. And then I tried and I also failed. I think I'm just a forever Wilson guy.
Mr. Wilson is like the bestest, most.
He's Wilson.
What's it? Consistent? No.
Yeah, he's fairly consistent because like all his stats are just kind of.
He doesn't have like a negative.
Yeah, it's just good. He's just very, very normal. Although then you don't get the sweet helmets that Wigfrid can build.
I'm still a Wendy main.
Wendy's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having her. Although sometimes when you want to not kill the little what are those groundhogs called? I forget.
What?
The guys that burrow. I forget their name.
Mm-hmm. The moles?
Yeah, the moles. Yeah, because her sister kills the moles right away.
Really?
Yeah. Because I usually have to go get it when we're playing because like Nicole plays Wendy and her sister just kills moles. It's very sad.
I'm just more annoyed that Abigail is just so terrible against tentacles. Like she cannot take out a tentacle to save her on life.
Except at night?
No, she can't take.
Oh, she can't take
for her life, but she's not alive, so for her unlife.
For unlife.
You know what? You know what? When a joke doesn't land, you can just
I'm sorry.
Just let it die.
This is my first time on a Don't Starve stream. In actually, it's been almost a year. No, it's been more than a year.
Has it?
I think so. When did I move to Oni? Yeah, it's been a while. Holy, that's some intense steak eating.
Yeah, just push it even further.
No more jokes for Ragnar. Okay, Jan, gotcha.
Well, unfortunately, I guess this is your last Don't Starve stream.
Yeah, I'm taking a book out of a page out of Mace book.
Yeah.
This is my final stream.
Can't believe we're stepping on his gimmick.
Yeah.
Can you play guitar?
No, I can't. I'm not. Hi. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I don't know why they put me on here.
It's like, oh, hey, Tony, you and Ragnar are friends, right? Why don't you just...
That was a surprise. Surprise. That we're friends.
Self-burn? Or
Yeah.
who's getting burned here?
I think that was me. Yeah. Who's your least favorite to draw?
My least
Ooh,
favorite?
That's a question.
Oh, ouch. I mean, I have an answer. I just don't think people will like it.
Are you gonna choose to keep yourself safe here?
Well, no, it's just that I have a very reasonable reason for... It's like, they're more difficult to draw for a particular reason, and not because I just don't like them. But Weber's actually quite hard to draw.
But it seems like when you draw him, you have so much fun.
It just seems like... It's just harder though because his whole body is black, right? So that means you have to make sure that his silhouette is completely like unmistakable. So you can't have like too many overlapping body parts because otherwise it just get kind of lost. And sometimes it's like his mouth is so big that it can sort of like trying to fit it on his face. I think that's why I draw him smiling more often than not, because
he is very adorable.
Yeah, his smile is great, but his normal mouth is actually like trying to fit that and the rest of his face on his face is a bit challenging sometimes.
That looks sweet.
Okay. I know I did say I would draw WX in here, so he's going to be watching. WX on the other hand is very easy to draw.
I like him. Although I also can't play this. There's so much rain. It's so hard.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but like Weber is such a precious and good boy. Such a healthy boy. Such a good son.
How did that come about? Is it from that?
He's just so healthy, man. You see those rosy cheeks?
It was very rosy.
They're just so healthy. Second answer is that building skins for Wolfgang is the worst because you have to do 3 builds instead of 1. So
Oh,
that's
right,
my
because
other
of
answer.
I remember that because I remember when you were saying like, oh, you should try doing skins, and I think Vito was like, yeah, but don't touch. Hamstar001, how did WX get his Victorian form factor? I think we answered that a while ago.
Form factor? What's a
Maybe
form?
just costume, maybe.
Yeah.
It was an old
Do they
diving suit.
do they mean like canonically or like how I got to that?
Maybe how you got to that.
I mean, WX is always really he gets the most interesting skins usually because I have to like think the furthest, I guess, about how to make him fit in with any given theme.
Yeah.
So originally I tried doing some kind of like steampunky looking or like old Victorian like vehicle inspired robot design. But then I was just like, I think it had something to do with the idea of, and this probably just was like more musing in my head than anything else, as most things are.
I find it nice. I got you back. I got
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, fam. About like he's a robot but blending in with Victorian society just because he's in
No
a diving
one
suit
will
all the
ever
time.
know.
Yeah, basically.
No one suspects a thing.
Yeah. So I was just like, both diving suits are cool. Like,
They are cool.
yeah. So that's how I arrived.
I know because it was
that.
also in the SpongeBob movie. Potato
who
WX
else?
as a godsend.
Who else was I gonna put in here? With Weber or Wendy or?
Chat, one last character. If you guys want to, I'll pick the first one that comes up on the chat
Oh boy.
for suggestions. Nothing?
What the? Oh, my mic fell off. My.
Oh yeah, okay. So if you're drawing along with us, submit your summer-themed DST drawing on the forum thread, and it may get
Microphone just
featured
fell off.
in the next stream.
Mic fell off.
Technical difficulties with Tony. I was gonna make a
Wilson.
pun.
I
but
think
then,
Wilson was the first
Wilson?
suggestion.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, Wilson. A wild Jan has appeared. Yes. Yeah. A pig. Actually, that would have been cool, Pigman. Actually, no, that wouldn't have been cool because they're cooking
no.
meat.
Oh no.
Yeah, that would have been tragic.
Oh, it could be beefalo meat.
It's still kind of though, like, isn't it? Like, I do love ham.
Oh, wait, who doesn't love ham?
Who doesn't? Well,
okay. Some
Yeah,
people don't
yeah.
like ham. Actually, no. I'm gonna put Whitford. You going on here on layer? I think.
yeah. Oh, nice. Sweet. Yeah, so if you're drawing along, again, you can post this in the DST forum, and it might get featured on the next DST stream. Ironically, that won't feature me.
Well, maybe we can still have you back sometimes if you're free.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
Feels good to be included. Yay.
Yay. Don't worry, I would be even double more useless on an Oni stream, so.
Oh, no. Actually, we should. Now that we're trading
Oh, God.
guest stars, we should have you on the Oni stream.
Oh, man. Have me draw dupes. I could draw dupes.
You can draw dupes.
I drew some dupes at PAX.
Oh, man, this is looking super cool. Check out that perspective, yo.
Yeah.
What's the one thing to do to don't starve-ize a drawing?
Don't starve. Make sure your lines aren't too clean. Keep it loose. Keep it fancy free. Yeah.
Really hard to get down, actually.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll
You can shade
This part looks a little empty, so I'm gonna
Put another one? A pig?
Maybe I'll have a Chester.
Oh, nice. Yes, Chester.
I mean, I know Chester doesn't really eat.
Yeah, but he's always around, you know? I'm always happy when I find him.
In a way, he's eating because he's putting things in his mouth, right?
Very functional. Gang, that's record time, right? Like, how much time do we have for this really quick Toni sketch here? That was really fast. I feel like that was less than 15 minutes.
What time is it now?
It's 4:26.
Oh, cool.
Breaking records here at Klei, Toni. He's just storing a steak in him.
Yeah, he's not even eating it. He's just like putting it in there for later. Oh, Chester.
Question, if you do eat a steak from Chester, does that count as him regurgitating food?
He regurgitates everything for you.
So that's kind of gross, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just...
What you don't see is all the Chester slime that's on all of his stuff. I don't know if it's Chester slime.
Adorable.
Yeah.
And gross at the same time.
Tastes like love.
But that's... Yep. Is Chester an omnivore?
Considering that you can put anything in Chester, I would say yes.
Yeah.
Omni in the most omni sense of omni, if that made sense.
Holy crap, that looks so cool on the screen. But it also looks really cool in person. Nice save, Rags.
Yeah, good job.
Shading party. Cool. So, gonna do the art spotlight in a bit.
Yep.
Toni,
Yes.
what do you think of when you're drawing?
I'm thinking about where to put my next line. I don't.
And I interrupted it.
Did you though? Did
I don't
you see
know.
me stop drawing?
Did I? No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
It's very calm and collected.
What you don't see is the constant internal screaming.
I can hear it.
Ah.
Nice. Deep noise max. You can draw some boss in the background. Just
like another
unsuspecting
like showing
burger. Just
no. Berger is for the fall. If it's summer,
be dragon.
It used to be dragonflies.
But
now
you have to go seek
stationary
them out,
buff.
though, right?
Yeah. Could be that they're a little too close to the desert, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like that idea. That's a good idea. I'm going to do it.
Oh, nice. See, guys, sometimes when you say things, things happen.
A bit.
Oh, you're so fast. I know I work with her, but this is like, you know, I can't sit behind Toni and watch her draw all day.
That would be a little creepy.
Yeah, it would be.
And I'd be like, don't you have work to do? No, I'm good. No.
Actually have a lot of work to do right now.
Thanks for coming on the stream, Ragnar.
It's all good. It's all good. That's what friends do for each other, man.
Yeah.
Francisco the Mage, do you also do traditional drawing, pencils, brush? Digital, of course, works for your job right now, but Do you? How much do you draw on non-digital media right now?
Definitely not as much as I used to. Like, I was definitely taught traditionally, as was like most people, I think.
Yeah.
But
it's just so easy now to do this digital.
yeah, there is a certain sense of like, I don't know, it just feels right sometimes having
Pen and paper.
I would say I still do like pencil and pen from time to time. Less so with paint, just because it takes so much to get set up and like going, like having canvas and all that stuff. Like I always have paper around, but it's just you kind of have to make a thing of it. There are people at work who like do painting just even on break and stuff like that. Though that's super admirable. I think. Yeah, a little bit of like maybe some marker here and there, maybe a few.
I know, because you have a lot of pens in your bag usually. Like like when we're out, I was like, Toni, do you have a pen? And she just goes, which one?
Yep. Yeah, those I keep somewhat out of habit.
It's kind of a little bit obscured by all the smoke coming from the barbecue. They're so unaware of the impending danger and doom. Nice. Yeah. The peeps love the shading, Toni.
Thank you. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna use this. Maybe I will add some more barbecue smoke.
So is he coming here to destroy or just to also partake in the barbecue?
You know what? This is a fun time.
Seems like
summer
happy
special.
times, right? Yeah.
So like, but then again, this is DS.
Yeah, that's
DST.
true.
So nothing is ever
It's never
nice
safe
for long.
Yeah.
There you go. How is
Nice. Dude, it looks sweet.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what are your favorite things to do for finishing touches on a drawing?
Oh man, overlays.
They do help so much, hey?
I throw so many overlays on.
No, but just the texture or something helps.
Yeah, just
like for-
textures,
yeah.
overlays, everything.
Yeah.
They just add that extra little like zing sometimes.
Hot tip from Toni,
Yeah.
overlays.
Are amazing.
Yep, do it.
Also, good-
Professionally endorsed.
also fun is having an existential crisis and like trying to redo all of your line art because
How much do you actually do that though?
you don't know. Oh man, it's 4:34.
All right.
Yeah. So
I didn't want to interrupt you. We're in a flow.
Okay,
So that's
all right,
good.
yeah.
It
No.
looks amazing.
Oh, all right. We're good. We will throw this up on the forums
yeah.
afterwards, I think. Do you think we have time to just look at some?
Yeah. I think we'll go through it real quick.
Yeah, really quick. So if you post your stuff, well, if you're drawing with us and you post it on the forums, you could
might
look
get
like
featured.
this.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
man.
can be zombie. Is it zombie killer?
It's zombie killer. Yeah, that looks like me.
The heat ain't too bad.
Yeah, that's when I try and go outside. I
Yeah.
look exactly like that.
Yeah, we're actually half melted from the waist down.
You
It's so
can't
hot,
tell.
you can't
It's all
tell.
liquid.
Yeah, this camera
Yeah.
makes us look all right.
Yeah, it's all liquid.
Yeah.
He is a strong boy.
Oh, look at these.
From last time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
These are from the stream.
Oh man.
Ryan's patch.
Oh, look, Weber.
He's a very healthy looking boy.
Look at he's got the cheeks.
Yep.
He's got the cheeks. Yes. And
Oh.
and oh man. Oh.
Nice. Who is this?
This is the spring like earth
Yeah, but
verdant
who did
skins
them?
for Wigford. Oh.
What is this?
Yes. Allspice.
Allspice?
Auspice.
Nice.
That is a strong-looking Wigford. That is an elegant-looking Wickerbottom.
Nice poses.
Yeah, these poses are quite strong. You get a really strong sense of silhouette from these. Could use some more healthy glow in those cheeks, though. Healthy cheeks. All the way up.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah.
Hug that thermal stone, Wilson.
Do I?
I'm
scared. I'm scared. What's in the
reveal hidden contents.
Oh my God.
Oh
no! Papaya seeds!
They double down hard on the papaya seeds.
Here
Nice.
you go. I'm defeated.
Oh, she's done.
I've been defeated.
You guys have defeated her one
amazing.
weakness.
This is amazing.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is good.
awesome.
Another perspective on
I
it.
know, right? And that, like, the effects on the volcano. This is good too. Yeah. Get in there.
Wilson, at it again.
Whoa! Yes.
Is that dim sum?
Yes. That's ice cream. Ice cream.
Oh, it's ice cream. Okay.
Yeah. You just pop that whole thing in your mouth. I wish I could do that.
Maximum.
Yes. Nice.
I want to carry an ice block like that, right? Yeah.
Just right on your head.
Just on my head.
It would feel so good.
Just
This is Reset Player. Very good. Nice cheekbones on that Maxwell. Nice
hairy
leg hair.
legs.
Nice leg hair. Very good. Okay. So
all right. That is it for us today, guys.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for the very quick.
Oh yeah.
Really amazing.
We should
drawing.
switch back to the camel.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. We can do this.
I hope we were cool enough for you guys on this hot day.
Yeah. Yeah. I would
this
not
is
blame you if you
definitely
left
my
right
last
now.
stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
And we
hosting
are,
someone?
Yeah, I think we're hosting.
Yanni? I think it was Yanni.
Yeah.
Anyways, throw them some love. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.